Hey guys, it's Vadim with MaxTech, and I know what you're gonna say. The iPhone 17 Pro Max just came out last month, and yes, it is a great upgrade, but for those of you who are trying to figure out if you should wait an additional year, those that only upgrade every few years, holy moly, are there a bunch of already leaked upgrades that are coming to the iPhone 18 Pro Max. Some of which that have never been done before on any iPhone, so make sure you watch this video to the end so you don't miss them. So let's start off with number 1 out of 10 major changes. We have a redesigned back. Now the camera bumps and the plateau, everything is not going to be changing according to Digital Chat Station, but he does say that the MagSafe window, the glass on the back, will now apparently be slightly transparent or translucent. So he didn't really say any specifics, but it might look faintly like some sort of a teardown skin, kind of like a nothing phone, but it's not going to be too obvious, sort of soft where you can see a little bit behind it. That's an interesting new change. For number 2, we have a smaller dynamic island on the front. Now, we had a lot of leaks about Apple switching to under-display Face ID with a new hole punch camera, but that is not coming just yet. That's getting delayed until the iPhone 20. So for now, we're just getting a smaller dynamic island. Now, I think Apple's doing this just to help differentiate the new 18 Pro Max versus the current 17 Pro Max, so you'll be able to tell them apart, kind of like when Apple just shrunk the notch just a little bit on the iPhone 13 series compared to the 12. Kind of the same thing they're doing there, so no real difference in functionality. Now moving on to number 3, this is a huge camera update on the back, the main 48 megapixel sensor. Apple's apparently adding a new variable aperture camera for the first time ever on any iPhone. This was mentioned by Ming-Chi Kuo last year in November, and now once again from Digital Chat Station. Now this right here is going to fix the biggest issue with smartphone cameras, especially for recording video. Samsung actually came out with this feature many years ago, and I made a video about it showing how it works. Essentially, the little blades will close down to kind of control how much light comes into the sensor. So why would you want to do this? Well, because when you're filming video in daytime when it's very bright, the only way for the iPhone to kind of turn down the brightness to help balance it nicely is to essentially increase the shutter speed to make it darker. But the issue is that you end up getting these stuttering effects when you're going side to side, and it looks terrible, and it's obvious that you're using a smartphone. So having a variable aperture to kind of close it down will instantly solve that issue and make it look more like a pro camera. And also that will help you adjust the level of background blur you have. It'll also give you more sharpness for detail photos. It's gonna be huge. Now getting into major upgrade number 4, we have the A20 and A20 Pro chips. This is gonna be a huge deal because it's TSMC's very first 2 nanometer chips, upgrading from the current 3 nanometer. This is gonna give you a massive boost in efficiency and performance, since this is gonna be the first GAAFIT chip tech from TSMC, and that's huge because the entire industry has been using FinFET since 2013, almost 13 years of the same chip tech, and GAAFIT is coming, which basically means gate-all-around transistors, which dramatically reduces power leakage, which has been a big issue as we've gone to smaller and smaller nanometer transistors. We're also expecting the RAM to get integrated onto the actual wafer instead of just being put on top after the fact, which will increase the efficiency. And this is basically the biggest deal in chip tech since I can remember, and it'll easily allow Apple to add even more CPU and GPU cores, dramatically improving performance compared to the current chips. Now, one thing that likely will not get upgraded on the iPhone 18 series is the charging speed, since the 17 just got a huge upgrade, finally supporting 40-watt charging. But don't go ahead and buy Apple's 40-watt dynamic charger, as our sponsor Anker has the world's most compact 45-watt foldable charger, the 45-watt Nano, which is much smaller than Apple's 40-watt charger, so it easily fits into your bag when going out, and it comes with a 6-foot cable in the box while still being less expensive, and Anker's Active Shield 3.0 stops overheating for safe 45-watt fast charging. charging. And if you prefer wireless charging, Anker's new Nano power bank is the slimmest 5,000 milliamp hour Qi 2 power bank out there, being slimmer than Apple's brand new MagSafe battery while having 5,000 milliamp hours of capacity with 15-watt Qi 2 compared to Apple's 3,000 milliamp hours with only 12-watt charging. But most importantly, the Nano power bank actually supports every new iPhone 17 model instead of just the iPhone Air like Apple's MagSafe battery, and it's also less expensive and lighter at only 3.4 ounces versus 4 ounces, so it's better in every way. So order the Anker Nano 45-watt charger and Nano power bank today using the links below. Now moving on to number 5, with all that extra performance, we're gonna need better cooling, and thankfully, we got a leak saying that the cooling is gonna be even better with a new redesigned vapor chamber cooling system, which will apparently use stainless steel, which doesn't make as much sense since that isn't as good at kind of conducting heat, but maybe that's required to make the system even larger and better, so I guess it should improve the cooling compared to what we have now. Now for number 6, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to support full 5G satellite internet. Yes, you heard that right. Not just for texting, but full-on internet over satellite anywhere you go. Now, there are rumors of Apple teaming up with SpaceX to get this feature going, which is super exciting because this would be a game changer. No more dead zones, no more losing internet when you're going hiking, fishing out in the wild, camping somewhere, out in the forest. You have internet everywhere. Now for number 7, we have a change that I'm pretty excited about. Apparently Apple's gonna make the camera control button a lot more simple on the iPhone 18 series. They're gonna remove the capacitive sensing layer that kind of senses the swipes, and they're gonna keep only the pressure sensing recognition capabilities. Now, let me tell you guys, I hate the capacitive sensor with the camera control button because I always accidentally swipe it and touch it when I'm trying to take a photo. Then I end up messing up all of my settings and I have to go back and make sure it's all default so it's not changed in any way. It is just so annoying. Plus, I really hope Apple changes the location because right now, it's basically in the wrong spot. You have to stretch your finger out like this to take a photo instead of just naturally being right here. Apple, please make the new camera control in a better position like this. Now for number 8, Apple's gonna use their own custom C2 or C2X modem on the 18 Pro models, finally replacing the Qualcomm 5G modem that Apple's been using year after year, which they do have the C1X in the iPhone Air, and it's been pretty impressive so far. No major complaints from anybody just yet, but the C2 and C2X will be even more refined, snappier, faster, and more efficient. And the big change with those new modems is millimeter wave 5G support. That's the main reason why the current iPhone 17 Pro does not use Apple's modem, because the current one does not support millimeter wave, but the new ones will, and Apple will likely surprise us with new features that only Apple can achieve, since they'll be owning all of the chips, including the N1 or maybe the N2 that's gonna come for the 18 Pro series. And when you have all of that control, you have more control over what happens with the phone. Like sometimes when you leave your house, there's like a 30-second delay before Wi-Fi switches off and changes to 5G. Well, Apple's chips are gonna be more reliable for instantly changing, and I'm very excited for that. Now for number 9, we're getting another update to the telephoto camera on the back with a larger aperture, because right now we just got the 48 megapixel sensor for the telephoto with 4x optical, but a bigger aperture means more light coming in, which translates to less noise and a more clear image, as well as better background blur. Now, 4x optical was already a big improvement over the previous 5x with the 16 Pro Max, because the previous one was very noisy and very grainy, sometimes almost unusable in dimmer lighting. So I'm really excited to see how much better it's gonna get with the bigger aperture. And now finally, for major upgrade number 10, we have a brighter display on the 18 Pro models. It's likely gonna go up to 3,600 nits of brightness because right now we're limited to 3,000, and there are so many new Android phones coming out that are already 3,600. So I think Apple's gonna bump it up and increase the brightness, which will be even better. But I really hope they improve the manual typical brightness because right now we have 1,000. I hope Apple gives us 1,200. And there you guys go. Those were 10 new major upgrades coming to the iPhone 18 Pro. And honestly, if you are thinking about upgrading right now and your current phone works quite well, just wait another year because we're getting even more updates, especially with that crazy A20 Pro chip and all of those other changes that I mentioned. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the best upgrade down below. Subscribe for more videos like this one and check out one of those two right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.